Okay, well, we're going to start with, again, the book, The Wallach Revolution. Okay, The Wallach Revolution. And what makes it unique is it has two very, very famous people who contributed to it. Okay, after, let's see here. Let's go to Pat Boone. You ever heard of Pat Boone? Everybody's heard of Pat Boone. A famous movie actor, famous stage entertainer, great, great guy for all kinds of stuff. And of course, every once in a while we'd cross paths. 15, 20 years ago, we crossed paths at some big event at a city where they were putting on some kind of event, a political event or whatever, and got to know him a little bit. And he and I used to, 15, 20 years ago, we would go to local and regional farmers outside those events and talk to the farmers and whatnot, because they were a part of Pat Boone's financial community. Okay, and so that's been kind of fun and interesting. Now, makes this book interesting to me, okay, is that on the front cover, okay, on the front cover, it says contributions by Pat Boone and Danny Glover. Okay, when you go to page 7, okay, in the front of the book, it's the forward, Pat Boone. And let's see here. Let's find some place where we can start here. Okay, about a year ago now. This book was published 15 years ago. So this is 16 years ago. And he says, about a year ago, I heard Dr. Wallach on the Christian TV show, This Is Your Day, with Benny Hinn. And I was fascinated as he talked about his approach to all our human ailments through natural ingredients, vitamins, minerals. I heard him telling of people who got healed and being healed of impossible seeming diseases like cystic fibrosis, muscular dystrophy, some forms of cancer, heart disease. What really arrested my attention was his account of convincing former Atlanta Mayor Andy Young, not to have his knees surgically replaced with artificial knees. Instead, really going full out on Wallach's nutritional program and ingesting all 90 essential minerals and vitamins. And his research had identified, Dr. Wallach reported that after a number of months on his regime, the new tissue was formed in Young's knees, and he never had to have replacement surgery. Okay, now again, this is Pat Boone talking. I found a way to contact Joel Wallach and his 75-year-old and the 75-year-old young man. You see, this is 10 years ago, to my house with some of his products. Gave me some. Now remember, this is Pat Boone talking. Gave me some instructions and let me embark on this program. At that point, I was having lots of trouble walking, usually with pronounced limp and considerable discomfort. I started Youngevity products quite faithfully at first, though it admittedly takes more discipline and regularity than just a few vitamins when convenient. I noticed some improvement right away and went back to playing my singles tennis at least once a week. Now, full disclosure, I will live a very busy, overcommitted life. Sometimes, this is, again, Pat Boone talking, sometimes, especially when I travel, I get a little lax. Some of the days I forget, but I put off taking my vitamins and minerals and Youngevity supplements as faithfully as Dr. Wallach has recommended. I admit I pay the price and some aches and pains, blah, 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 blah. But most of the time, nobody would think I have a knee problem. There are other times when they notice me favoring my right knee and even limping. And this is why I'm writing this. After it's very clear to me, that's again Pat Boone talking, that if I hadn't been taking the Youngevity nutrients over a year now, even though I'm not as constantly faithful as I intend, I would have had to have my knees replaced months ago. I didn't even think about it, a cane, okay, as I had with my left knee. And I feel sure that if I can get back to the prescribed regimen Dr. Wallach put me on, I'll likely never have to have the surgery. The Bible says there's always a way that seems right to a man. Okay, I'm confident based on my own knowledge and experience that Dr. Joel Wallach's way leads to healthy and longer life. Why not young? Pat Boone. Okay, let's go to the end of this book. Okay, we're talking about Danny Glover. He's also a TV star and stage entertainer and so forth. Okay. And it's one of those things where, let's see here. Here we go. Danny Glover. This is called his input at the end of the book is called the afterword. Okay, like Pat Boone is a forward. Danny Glover's the afterword. Okay. Dr. Joel Wallach is a national treasure, a health educator and leader. Remember, this is Danny Glover speaking, who I have had the privilege of knowing. From childhood, I appreciated the critical role of nutrients in maintaining good health. Wallach's fundamental message, therefore, came as no surprise to me, but his zeal in causing that message to reach people the world over, helping all, is truly exceptional and inspirational. As a young man, I suffered from epilepsy, which I have not had experience since my mid-30s. I attributed my success in overcoming epilepsy to my efforts to achieve and maintain good health. But my personal efforts to stay healthy, which is that disease, it would have been, I have been continually handicapped. We each have to take responsibility for our own health. We have to seek out what works best for us and avoid those poor choices that can ruin our health and our lives and leave us saddled with physical consequences. Many try to tell us that we, especially minorities, are genetically different, possessed of inferior genes, and explain why certain suffer from illnesses like sickle cell anemia, cardiovascular disease, cancer. That view is old and repugnant roots. It produced brutal acts of dysgenics in Nazi Germany, but still lingers on. I salute Dr. Wallach for making the falsity of that view, the gene theory of disease apparent, okay, in his books, Epigenetics and Black Gene Lies. Wallach exposes the falsity of the notion that diseases commonly suffered are somehow tied to our genes. Okay, and of course, let's see here. Dr. Wallach teaches us how to be the ambassador of health or for our own health. That knowledge is liberating, fully informed the health benefits of essential nutrients. We can direct our lives the way that we want them to be, most desirable health outcomes. There is a great deal that we now know about nutrition. That knowledge explains much about human history and evolution and why we have made certain choices. Give us knowledge on how best to care for ourselves, and we can take care of our own health. Okay? And so I'll read one more paragraph here. This is again by Danny Glover. Unfortunately, there's a lot of money to be made in the business of illness, putting a premium on treating the sick, but not keeping people from getting sick in the first place. Medicine is crisis management. We do not go to a doctor for advice on how to keep us well. We go to a doctor on how to overcome pain and disease. The pharmaceutical industry largely dictates how we look at health and how we look at remedies. The money to be made is in treating the disease, not avoiding the disease in the first place. We are all accustomed by modernity to instant gratification. We want each physical and mental challenge eliminated right now, blah, 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 blah. Okay, and there's more. I'll read the last paragraph here. I welcome the opportunity to celebrate the life, achievements, and teachings of Dr. Wallach. He is a fascinating man who has made an enormous difference to so many lives. Dr. Wallach has added new dimensions to my life. Again, we're talking about Danny Glover, right? Yeah, Danny Glover. I want to make sure I get it right. Okay. And I've always been interested in health. I use exercise as a form of relaxation and a way of getting my body moving. I strive to get the most out of my body with limitations I have. Dr. Wallach has enhanced my capacity to become the best I can be, and as much as I think I've learned from Dr. Wallach, I know I have a lot more to learn from him. Okay. Those two people, okay, Pat Boone and Danny Glover, are known around the world for their movies and on stage entertainment and all this and the other. But when that happened about 15 years ago, when we met at a meeting, we started going to the same meetings. And I'm going to a meeting that had maybe 5 or 10 people at them. Okay. And as soon as Danny Glover and Pat Boone began to show up, now we had 500 showing up. Okay. So I'm learning about how they did that. Okay. And so this book, The Wallach Revolution, there's 12 chapters in here. It talks about the history, okay, of what I learned and how I learned it from all these animals and all over the world and so forth, and how we got rid of diseases. Okay, how I got rid of the cystic fibrosis, we got rid of muscular dystrophy, we got rid of sudden death syndrome, we got rid of Keyshawn disease, which is the same as the disease in America, let's see here, cystic fibrosis, okay, sudden death syndrome, and Keyshawn disease in China is the same. So Dr. Milan and I went to China because she speaks Chinese, and we did 1,700 autopsies on kids under the age of 10. 1,700 autopsies on kids under the age of 10 who had died of Keyshawn disease, which they said was a genetic disease. We proved to them it was a simple nutritional deficiency. We started giving them the same thing that we gave to the kids that had died of the sudden death syndrome. We gave them the supplements, and there were no more sudden death syndrome. I had to sue the FDA 8 times in federal court because they didn't want me to put the vitamins and minerals into baby formulas. I sued the FDA, Food and Drug Administration, 8 times in federal court. Won, they sued me again. I sued them again. They sued me again. I sued them again. They sued me again. And that went on 8 times until finally, after they spent like $80 million suing me, guess what? They stopped. And then we were able to get all these nutrients put into baby formulas. And you don't hear about sudden death syndrome anymore because we put all the nutrients in the baby formulas that eliminated it. And so we're very, very proud of what we have produced for children all over the world. And again, we have the flip chart. It goes into about, I don't know, over 100 different diseases. And of course, all the diseases we're talking about, doctors want you to believe that they're genetic diseases. Okay, no, they're just simple nutritional deficiencies. And today we talked about this, okay, at our Zoom at noon to 1 Pacific time. And the book sales were like crazy after that. Okay. And so it's amazing. People want information that they can absorb and utilize. And so something as simple as rebound. We made rebound for Theo Ratliff, the basketball player who lost his job because he had arthritis in his knees and hips and everything. I came up with a healthy bone and joint pack, which was the healthiest start pack, which is before the healthy bone and heart pack, we had the healthy start pack. Then I came up with glucogel and added it to the healthy start pack and it became the healthy bone and joint pack. Gave that to Theo, came up with the rebound, which has like 150 nutrients in it, vitamins and minerals and all kinds of amino acids and stuff. And he came back 3 months after he'd lost his position. He came back in 9 years' time. I hope you're all sitting down. He made $134 million in contracts after we rebuilt him and sent him back to the basketball court. Made $137 million in contracts. Okay. So this is unimpeachable information, unimpeachable evidence. Okay. And it'll add beautiful, healthful what should I say, energy to your life, and add as many as 25 to 50 years to your life. Right now, the oldest people in the world are from Pakistan. They live to be an average of 122. It's the Hunzas, live in the Himalayan mountains, and they don't have a single medical doctor in any of their villages. They just get their minerals from the mountains, grinding up the rocks. And the rock dust is white, comes down the mountain in the streams, looks like milk coming down the mountains. This goes back 2,000 years to the Bible. You've all heard of the land flowing with milk and honey. It wasn't cow's milk, where people lived a long time. It was glacial milk, giving them minerals. Now you got to be careful because there's several different types of glacial milk. One type of glacial milk only has 3 minerals. That's not going to be very good for you. It'll taste okay, but you're not going to get everything you need. Then there's glacial milk that has 25 minerals. And then there's glacial milk that has 50 minerals. And there's glacial milk that has 75 minerals. And glacial milk that has 90 minerals. You want the glacial milk that has 75 or more minerals in them. Okay? The glacial milk. And then you take that with your 90 essential nutrients. You can add 25 to 50 healthy years to your life. And so this was presented and accepted. And it's one of those things where people are learning that the land flowing with milk and honey had a true piece to it, okay? Because it was the mountains grinding up the rocks, and the minerals were coming down in the water into the streams, and they cooked with, they ate with, they drank, okay? And they irrigated with. And then once they started damming up the rivers, they shut off the flow of minerals. And that was 1882. 1882, September 4th, when Thomas Edison pulled the switch on the first commercial electric generating plant. And suddenly now there was no more minerals in our food. We were getting our minerals for thousands of years, for tens of thousands of years, no, hundreds of thousands of years. We're getting our minerals, okay, from wood ashes and coal ashes. Well, once we went to electricity in 1882, when Thomas Edison pulled that switch, it just about killed everybody because we shut off our source of minerals and all we had was water. Okay, so with that said, we have the flip chart, okay, and it covers, I don't know, several hundred different diseases, very famous people. We're talking about Parkinson's disease, we're talking about Alzheimer's disease, multiple sclerosis, ALS, Charcot-Marie tooth, Bell's palsy, and like 40 other diseases that are caused, neurological diseases that are caused by demyelinization. Well, that's why we came up with the I-26. I-26 rebuilds the white matter of the brain and spinal cord. And all those diseases that doctors have been treating the symptoms of for hundreds of years, we get rid of in a couple of weeks to a couple of months, okay? With the 90 essential nutrients, the I-26, and what other secret sauces you might need for whatever else you got going on. Okay, so with that said, I want to turn this over. Shar, show up yet?
I'm here.
Shar's here.
Well, there she is.
I'm here. Finally got one of my internets to work. I only got 2, and neither one of them are very good. Anyway, so everything's fine. Back on here. I don't know for how long, but I'm on now. So.
Okay, so at any rate, I'm suggesting that everybody get a hold of the books, okay? Let's Play Doctor. Get a hold of the book, The Wallach Revolution.
And I got to order mine. I want to get mine ordered this week yet because I need them.
Yeah. And then, of course, if you get 10, you get a nice discount.
I always buy 10.
Nice
always buy 10.
And then, of course, you just remember that Pat Boone and Danny Glover, we spent 15 years together going to farms after all of the various events we'd go to. We're all speaking at the same events, but we were there, so we'd go out to the outer communities and we would talk to hundreds of people. And that was me and Pat Boone and me and Danny Glover and the three of us for 15 years. And this book was published 15 years ago. They have a nice supply at the office, so you won't have to wait. As soon as you call in your order, it'll be shipped that day. Unless you call in at 5 o'clock, then it'll be shipped the next day. Okay. Okay.
Amen.
So we're not going to run out of those books. We have plenty of these, the Wallach Revolution books. That's why I'm sort of highlighting them a little bit. I've been naughty and not spending as much time talking about it as much as possible. So remember, there's a holiday coming up. And you could give a set to a family member, okay, of the Wallach Revolution book, the flip chart, okay, the 90 for Life Crusade to Save Humanity in the World, flip chart, okay. We also have the book, Dead Doctor's Lie. Just had a guy call a few minutes ago, ordered 150 of the books, Dead Doctor's Lie. He says, I'm giving them to my family for holiday presents. Okay, so these are the sort of things, don't just give them a bag of popcorn or something like that. Don't, okay. Give them something that can be really, really improving their life and the lives of their family, the lives of the people they work with, their church mates, their workmates, their neighbors, their families. And this is very simple stuff. Okay. You don't need 10 PhD degrees to understand how this works. If you can read the 6th grade reading level, you can do this. And so it's one of those things. Please join us. We're growing fast. The message is getting out there. And so we need more and more members of our Army. And so you do want to become a member of our team, our family. And again, when you do this as a business and you give these books and CDs and DVDs to your family, to your neighbors, to your church mates, your people you're wanting to get involved with you, it's a tax deduction. Also, the part of your house you're using for an office, that space is a tax deduction. Also, you get to use your car when you use it. How many miles you do it by mileage, a tax deduction. You can't do that working for McDonald's. You can't do that working for, and you see all these big businesses closing down. 7-Eleven closed 140, no, excuse me, 7-Eleven closed 450 stores. There's 10 employees in each store. And then, let's see here. Walgreens, yeah, shut down. Walgreens shut down 1,200 stores and 10 employees in each one of those stores. And then there's a big paint store in the United States, PPD, I think it's called PPD, paint company and store. They just laid off 1,800 people. Talk to these people, get them involved, and let them know that this is a willable asset. The Youngevity business is a willable asset. It's time for you to retire. You want to quit. You can give your business to your family, and it automatically goes to them. Okay, you cannot work for any of these big stores, and when you retire, they get your job. No, they have to apply and see if they can get that job. Okay, and so the beauty of this.
Pam and Dave was adding by chat that the Rite Aids are closed now.
Okay, now the Rite Aids are closed. Okay,
so yeah, all the Rite Aids in Michigan closed up, every one of them.
Okay, so what you need to do is, if there's still people working at those places, or if you know of somebody who worked at those places, contact them, get them involved. Let's say you contact 10 people and you sponsor one. You contact 20 people and you sponsor two. Get them sponsored, get them in there, and remind them that it's a willable asset. When they are ready to retire, or if they die, get in a car accident or something, die, their family gets it, as opposed to it just going back to the company.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, Pam and Dave got their hand up. They need to unmute themselves.
I asked them. I have to ask, and I asked. There they go.
Can you hear me okay now?
Yep.
Sure.
Hi, Doc. Hi, everybody, all you wonderful women out there. So thank you so much, Dr. Wallach. You sound so fantastic today. We so much appreciate you. And I just wanted to say that, like every Christmas or birthday or holiday, I would always send either a book or a CD, samples, graduations, friends that are having, baby showers and stuff like that, weddings, that's what I want to give my friends and families, an idea, start them off with the core, the healthy start packs. That way they can have some healthy children and they don't have to worry about right aid, wrong aid, and all them other things. Thank you, Dr. Wallach. We appreciate you.
Okay, thank you for sharing that story. That's very, very good. That's the correct way to do it. Let everybody know. And again, the holidays are coming up quick. And so we want to make sure that you are going to benefit when you buy these products, okay, to give to your family, your church mates, your neighbors and workmates and so forth. They're tax deductible because you're using them to build your business. They become really, really tax deductible, okay, because you're using them to build your business. You're not just giving them away. You're not just giving that money away. It's a tax deductible investment in the growth and survivability of your longevity business. Okay, back to you now.
Okay, Sue's got her hand up. Go ahead, Sue.
Yeah, it's a question actually. A 50-year-old active woman. She's been on product, the Tangy Tangerine and Rebound, but she shared some more with me. She said in 22, a doctor let her know that she had a leaky gut. And they did a few things, but recently she just finished her ultimate floral effects. And then she also is waiting for the True to Life Daily Digest to come. And she wanted me to ask Dr. Wallach if there was anything else that she should be doing to help this problem that's been slowly getting more out of control the past year or so.
Okay, what's her main complaint? Leaky gut?
The main complaint is digestive.
Okay, well,
irritable.
Get rid of all the bad foods. No fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat, no oats, no buckwheat, no sugar, no carbonated drinks. Even the diet one's got to go. And then, she say how much she weighs?
120.
120. Okay, so one healthy brain and heart pack per month. Take a half a dose of breakfast, half a dose of dinner time. She's the Ultimate Daily Classic tablets. Take 2 or 3 of those twice a day. It'll be 1 bottle a month, the Ultimate Daily Classic tablets. And they deal with blood flow through blocked arteries, makes your kidneys work better, makes your liver work better, your lungs work better, your heart works better. You want to use the I-26. Take 3 servings a day. On a breakfast, lunch, dinner, there's chewables. I take three times a day of the French vanilla chewables. They come also in banana coconut chewables. They also come in capsules and powder. That's the I-26. It rebuilds the white matter in the brain and the spinal cord and all the big nerves like the 10th cranial nerve. And then, let's see here, I would also have her take the Rebound for energy, or Rebound for energy. Okay, she can take 1 or 2 doses a day. I take 2 doses a day, one at breakfast, one before 3 o'clock, so I don't have to stay up all night. And then lastly, she needs our ultimate enzymes. She's our ultimate enzymes. So you go ahead and take our ultimate enzymes. Take start out with 2 or 3 of those, say 10 minutes before each meal. So the enzymes are waiting in the stomach and the intestines for the food to come down. Don't take the enzymes after the meal is over with, and the enzymes are trying to chase down the food. You want the enzymes there first, waiting for the food to come. Get a better result.
Okay. I'm going to ask Martha to unmute, Shar.
Go ahead, Martha. Yeah, unmute. She's got to unmute.
I asked. One
Just
more
Martha?
time, I'm asking. So, for some reason, her unmute's not working, but ask to unmute. I'm going to ask her to unmute. And then while she's working on getting unmuted, if there's no other questions, I had somebody was talking to me about the oxalates, which are in vegetables and fruits and stuff, lots of different foods, and how they were under the understanding, and I guess the internet was too, that they bind up minerals and then they cause other conditions because your minerals are bound up. Is that something that we should be concerned about?
Well, yeah,
You
you
know,
need
binding it.
you need to stay away with foods that interrupt with absorption, utilization, storage of nutrients. Okay, and that's why we have the books. Okay, like the Wallach Revolution. That's why we have books like the Flip Chart. That's why we have books like Let's Play Doctor. And of course, everybody
Okay.
should be calling wellness publications and getting this education brochure. Okay, we have all these books. It tells you there's a paragraph or two for each of the books, tells you what they do and okay, so forth. And what they tell you, what they teach you, what's in them. And again, all of these things tax deductible. And so it's one of those I want to um, help you get the wholesale price and all that kind of stuff. If you're going to be doing big meetings, you're going to be doing big meetings like in an auditorium, in a church, in a school, or something like that, where you're talking to 50 people, 100 people, 500 people, 1,000 people. You want to get the DVD. It's 2 hours and 8 minutes, 2 hours and 8 minutes. Okay. Dead Doctor Don't Lie. Milan likes the subtitle. Someone should go to jail because she thinks people get confused when they see this Dead Doctor Don't Lie DVD because of the book Dead Doctor Don't Lie. Okay. But this is 2 hours and 8 minutes. And it's something where you want to show it for an hour, then let your audience go to the bathroom and have a little bit of something to drink or something like that. In 15 minutes, you ring the bell and they come back. Then you show them the last half. In the back of this tool, okay, it has a list of 30 chapters. Some of the chapters are just a couple of pages. Some of them are pretty long, okay? And what you can do is say, oh, I want to see chapter 5 first. You just scroll to chapter 5 and punch the button and it pops up. You don't have to watch the whole thing to get to where you want to go. Okay. And this is a great
That's great.
tool. Yeah. Have you seen it?
Have I actually seen it? No, I haven't, but I am having a craft show um in another week and a half, and we'll have those available by then.
Okay. Yeah. So you ordered them.
Yes.
Okay, good. Yeah. And this is really, and this was professionally filmed by movie film teams, okay, by professional movie film teams from Hollywood. This is not just grandma, sitting there eating her porridge and trying to make a DVD while she's eating her porridge. This is a professional tool. And when you see this, you say, oh my gosh, okay. And again, it's 2 hours and 8 minutes long. So you want to split it up into two pieces. And, but if you're just watching it yourself, you can show it to yourself. You can show it to 2 people in a kitchen. You can show it to 5 people in a den. You can show it to 25 to 50 people in a classroom. You can do.
And we're backing up with questions for you now, Doc.
Okay, let's go to some more questions.
Martha?
Yes. So I have a 63-year-old woman. She is 5'2" and she weighs 140 pounds, and she has bunions on her feet and hammer toes, and her doctor is wanting to do surgery.
Okay. Well, she's getting another opinion from another doctor. Nothing wrong with that. This is America. She got the right to have another opinion. I need to know, does she have any ringing in her ears or any balance problems?
Not that she's told me.
Okay, you need to ask her about that.
Okay.
Because if it's going on up in the skull, if she has osteoporosis of the skull, squeezing the 10th cranial nerve goes all the way to the toes and causes terrible pain and all kinds of stuff going on in the toes. The doctors want to amputate the toes and that kind of stuff. Okay. If they have hammer toes, this could be something as simple as mineral deficiency. So, it needs the Healthy Brain and Heart Pack at, let's see here, 140 pounds. She needs 2 Healthy Brain and Heart Packs, a full dose at breakfast, full dose at dinner time. Needs the, I'd go with the I-26, the go ahead and take that, and that will help rebuild the brain myelin, the white matter of the brain and spinal cord. That'll help there. And need vitamin D3. Take vitamin D3. Take 2 or 3 of our vitamin D3s twice a day. And also take the Cal Toddy. Take the Cal Toddy. I think 1 ounce a day gives you 99% of your daily requirement for calcium. And so what I do is I take a half a dose at breakfast and half a dose at dinner time, along with all my other stuff, because I'm getting a lot of calcium in all the stuff that I'm taking. Okay. And so, but on the bunions, if they're painful, use a CM cream on the bunions. And hammer toes, use a CM cream on them. Okay. That'll relieve the pain for a couple hours. Okay. But to try giving the brain what it needs, and the 10th cranial nerve what it needs, and the spinal cord what it needs, and see if that doesn't help. Because a lot of times, it's not really the pain is being caused in the toes. The pain is being caused in the brain, in the spinal cord, but the signal goes down to the toes. The doctor has no training in this. I went and looked. Do you guys get trained about this stuff? What are you talking about, Wallach? You're out of your mind. There was no such thing. Okay. They don't get trained in osteoporosis of the skull. They don't get trained in the 10th cranial nerve being squeezed up in the brain because of osteoporosis of the skull. And you're feeling it down in your toes because it goes all the way down from your brain, all the way down to your toes. Okay. And so just taking your toes off is very short thinking, because the next thing happens, they're going to amputate your legs. The next thing is going to happen, you're going to have a heart attack and die.
Thanks, Dr. Wallach.
Barth or Shar, do we have any more hands up? Let's see.
Yeah, Pam and Dave got their hand up.
I just want to mention, you know what, we laugh about that, people losing their toes, but I've been sent so many pictures of people's toes and fingers and hands and different things, and it's really not funny, and we try to help them all the time, and we give them all the information, and then these things happen, and we can't laugh because we do, because it's like we told you, but then it's very disturbing. It really does hurt when you do so much like you do, Dr. Wallach, to tell everybody over and over and over again. And then you're like, look at this picture. And you're like, oh my God, you're showing me a picture of something that I told you could have done something about. So, and I wanted to tell you, I have a friend here in Michigan. When we first came to see you in Sterling Heights, we had 10 people come from out of town up in Midland and different areas. And I talked to her a couple nights ago, and she says, it was so great. I was on YouTube and I saw one of Dr. Wallach's old videos, and it was just so nice to hear him again. And I says, there's a lot more to come, girlfriend. So she got really excited. She was so happy to hear you again.
Thank you. Yeah, don't forget our DVD. Yeah, don't forget the DVD. Dead Doctors Don't Lie, 2 hours and 8 minutes. The subtitle is Someone Should Go to Jail. That's Dr. Milan. She likes the subtitle, Someone Should Go to Jail. Okay, she doesn't like because when somebody calls in and says, I want Dead Doctors Don't Lie. Well, do you want the 2-hour DVD, or do you want the book, or you want the disc, So what do you want here?
And adding to what Pam said, as a nurse, when they start amputating the toes related to diabetes, they get to the ankle, they get to the knee, then they move to the other one and I'm sorry, guys, it is the way it is. Yeah. You got to take your diabetes seriously, because it does still cause amputations no matter how much better their insulin is.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Here's the deal. For insulin, I'm going to get a hold of the book, The Metabolic Syndrome. Okay. Metabolic Syndrome. The metabolic syndrome goes back thousands of years. This is nothing new. metabolic syndrome. Metabolic syndrome goes back, it's in the Old Testament 2,000 years ago. It goes back 200,000 years ago. Okay, now they didn't have a name for it, but they knew something about blood sugar. They knew something about abdominal obesity. They knew about the high blood pressure. And right now, 1/3 of American adults, 1/3 of American adults, 1 out of 3 American adults has metabolic syndrome in America. It's very easy to get rid of. Okay. And you'll add 25 to 50 healthy years to your life when you get rid of the metabolic syndrome. No suffering.
Do you have any more questions, Shark? Hands up. Any more hands?
I don't see any, but again, reading the books is the precursor to taking the products. Once you read the books and know that you need to take care of yourself, you need to take action and do something about it. And so Sue's got her hand up. Go ahead, Sue.
Yeah, it just was. This is about a little 18-month-old. He has Lou Gehrig's, and it's progressing. And now they're talking about in the near future possibly ventilating him. And so his mom was wondering what she might do to slow everything up
Okay, what's
of
Lou
this
Gehrig's
condition.
disease?
Lou Gehrig's disease. You know, Lou Gehrig's.
The
Yeah, the baseball player.
right, that
Well,
goes
what was
joint.
his complaint? What was his complaint?
It was an 18-month-old, so he didn't have a complaint. The mom wants to know what she can do to help slow the disease.
So what's the disease? Well,
Lou
Lou
Gehrig's
Gehrig's
disease,
disease.
which is paralysis starting at your hands that progresses up and eventually it affects into the respiratory. And it is, and I can't come up with it right now. I'm sorry, Dr. Wallach, I can't come up because I've
okay.
called it Lou
Well,
Gehrig's for so long.
Yeah, well, that sounds like osteoporosis of the skull in a baby. It's very common.
Oh,
Yep.
okay.
Squeezing the nerves, and they're seeing the symptoms down in the hands.
Okay. And that's how it progresses upward.
That's
Okay.
correct.
All righty.
But
And
the I-26.
I-26, you got it.
Yeah.
If it's that,
And
you
I
know,
just
if the baby's young enough to eat candy, the baby can eat the chewables. I like the French vanilla, but they also come in banana coconut, or it comes in a powder if you prefer. You can mix that in some orange juice or something, or some kids' toddy.
My 5-pound dog loves the I-26. She loves it.
Who your dogs?
My dog, yeah. 5-pound dog begs for it.
Well, that's good. They won't get Parkinson's disease.
Yeah.
And I do believe Pam has her hand up now.
Go ahead, Pam.
Sorry. I don't mean to ask so many questions and talk so much. I know you have a lot of other folks here that would probably love to ask some questions, but if anybody's interested, I do have a skeleton, 2 skeletons sitting at the end of my driveway with the table and chairs, and they're ready to take any questions you have there too. But when our grandson was, he was wheezing, you know, when he was younger, and Dr. Wallach said, you know what, you pierce those EFAs, you get those EFAs, squirt it right into your child's mouth, and that's going to help with the skin and the lungs and the heart and all that, the breathing. So just want to throw that out there. Besides that, brain and heart pack for your friend there. Thank you again.
Thank you.
Oh, Judy's got her hand up. Judy's got to unmute.
Asked her to unmute. There we go.
There we go. Okay, we have a question
From Karen.
from Karen.
There's a gentleman, he's 62 years old, weighs about 165. He has fluid on the brain, and they're talking about putting his shank in. He was just rushed to the hospital 2 nights ago with dangerously low sodium, with chest pains and headaches. He has been periodically taking the tangy tangerine, but outside of that, shuns anything that might actually work for him. So
Okay.
what give him now that he's
get rid of all the bad foods, no fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no gluten, no wheat, brown, rye, oats, no buckwheat, no sugar, no carbonated drinks. You know, that one's got to go. Needs to take 2 of these a day. Okay,
does-
rebounds. take 2 rebounds a day, one at breakfast, one before 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And it has over 150 nutrients in it that will give energy to the brain. It needs the I-26, okay, to rebuild the myelin in the brain and spinal cord. And let's see here. This is one of those things where I would also throw in the Ultimate Daily Classic tablets. Ultimate Daily Classic tablets. That'll deal with blood pressure, blood flow, kidney, lungs, heart. Ultimate Daily Classic tablets. Take 3 twice a day at that body weight. Okay.
What about the low sodium? We didn't get what was for the low sodium.
Salt.
Salt. Take salt.
To taste or add extra.
To taste or add extra, because he had dangerously low sodium levels.
All he needs is salt as food.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Everybody should salt their food to taste, right, Doc?
Yep.
Salt the food, yeah, salt the food to taste. I love salting my food to taste. Okay. Just
that was one of the first proactive supplements that humanity had was salt. People on the coast would boil the salt water and boil off the water. They would take that salt and they'd take it inland and sell it and trade for it with it. Okay. And this is what people were getting. And then when the medical doctors came over from Europe, oh, you can't have salt. Well, that's been around for thousands of years. Okay. Salt is required for making stomach acid. Salt is required to have good blood flow so that your arteries don't get blocked. And whoever started to stop using salt, they should not be, they should, what should I say? They should have their name put in print. So everybody,
I'm pretty sure it was doctors, Doc.
oh yeah, I know it was doctors, but I'm sure it started with one. Which one?
Yeah. And obviously caught on because they all do it.
Wow, it's an easy.
Yeah.
My doctor said I can't have salt. Bam, you're dead.
Yeah. Well, they're the number 3 killer of Americans. People got to remember that. Heart disease, cancer, and then them. Go ahead, Sue. Sue's got her hand up.
And it's an update, actually. We've talked several times about my friend that had glands, knots here, and she started the colloidal silver. She got it, they shrunk down, and so she went, no big deal. She got off the colloidal silver. Doc again said, keep on taking it. And so she got back on it, and she's progressing well again. And this time being more committed so it doesn't come back again.
Okay, good.
So that was a big update.
And that goes back 400 years. 400 years ago, they were getting rid of epidemics in villages with the colloidal silver. Some guy had put silver nuggets from a mine in some of their drinking water. They had forgotten about it. They pushed off to the side. And so suddenly now they had some big plague go through the village. And that's the only water they had. So they were giving that water. Had these silver nuggets in that water. And suddenly now they were the only village in that area where the plague went away. Everybody else was dying like flies. But silver gets rid of everything from viruses, bacteria, fungus, and yeast. Penicillin only kills 2 different bacteria. Doesn't touch all the other bacteria or anything else.
And doesn't the antibiotics you're talking about, penicillin, confuses everything else in the body, whereas colloidal silver doesn't confuse the funguses and everybody else.
It kills them all.
Doesn't do the great takeover. Okay. One other simple thing that came across, they just said they had complained to me about their thyroid eyes and wondering what, besides the food, they could do to help their eyes not look like they had thyroid problems, the red beady eye problem.
Let's see, what is it?
Have you ever heard of thyroid eyes? It's a symptom of hyperthyroidism.
Yeah.
When
So
or thyroid
basic-
problems. Wouldn't just ocean gold and treating the thyroid
Yes.
the way to solve that problem?
Yeah, well, the 90 essential nutrients, get away
90
from all the bad
essentials.
foods, and then ocean's gold. Exactly.
Okay, okay. That was just a cute little added extra they wanted to know. And I said, well, I'll ask. It's kind of simple. So, is there
Also,
any more
I've gotten
questions?
I got a lot of testimonials or compliments about taking the occupative too for the eyes. A person that lived with me for over 3 years swears by it. She said it definitely improves her vision, the occupative. So that's something to think about too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, occupative, also the Vision FX.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Yeah. There's so many things available to us now through Youngevity, and it's just like the colloidal silver. When you're doing booths and stuff, people talk about, well, I make my own, but there's no control over the I make my own theories, especially when they're just using tap water. And mine, Dr. Wallach's Youngevity, I put in my eyes like Shar was talking about. But I would never use their straight top water colloidal silver because that's kind of scary.
Yeah. Yeah, you really don't know for sure.
Yes.
And you
And
know
I'm going
what?
to-
When Doc was talking about Pat Boone and Danny Glover, it's all these people that are starting to get old and getting aches and pains. And that's where the education has got to come in and start teaching people that they need to start taking supplements pretty much at birth. And once they learn that they got to do it, they'll just automatically continue to do it through their whole life and won't end up getting all these aches and pains when they get older, hopefully, because they'll have taken care of themselves all through their whole life from childhood right up through adulthood. And it's all goes back to education. And
That's
the books
correct.
are a good educator. The books and the CDs are a good way to get educated. But again, knowledge is nothing if you don't take action and do something about it. And Helen Hewlett has got her hand up. Hi, Helen.
Oh, I want to thank Doc for my good health because when he came here over 20 years ago, but I want to let you know, Doc, we featured you in our October newsletter.
Oh,
This handsome guy on the front page
There you go.
who came up twice every year and taught us well. And I'm so happy with my good health. Thank you. Thank you.
well, thank you for sharing your story.
We're
Yes.
not through. I mean, after we get over all this COVID stuff and people start shaking hands and
I'm
hugging
back.
each other again, we need to get back to life as normal, the way it used to be, and not be afraid to touch anybody, which is really sad. It is. I mean, when you think about it, it's very sad what happened to us. And hopefully we can move on and have this be in the past and eventually forget about it.
And I see Martha has a hand up.
I just wanted to say I had looked up Pat Boone on the internet because I remembered him in the movie State Fair, and I found an article that said he's 90 years old and he's line dancing. So Dr. Wallach, your formula is still helping him. For a 90-year-old to be out there line dancing, it works.
There
He's
you
90. He's 90 now, right?
Right, and he's still dancing.
Wow. Wow.
That's a
Well,
lot
just
right
think of those
there.
Pakistanis are 122, so he's got at least 30 years to go.
Right.
Yeah. Good for him.
But you don't hear too many 90-year-olds in the United States still dancing.
No, no, most of them don't make it to 90 in the first place. The average lifespan isn't near that.
Right.
So you say he's 90 now, right?
Yes, he was born in I forgot now, 34.
Okay,
34.
Yeah, that would make him 90.
Yep.
yeah.
Yep. And Pam and Dave have a hand up. Doc, do you want to
You just
let them go and then you
just
finish
remember-
this up?
Yeah, just remember, Pat Boone, Danny Glover, and I wrote this book 15 years ago, and it's going crazy now.
Wow.
Yes,
Okay.
because you are a revolution.
Diana has her hand up.
Diana does. I see Pam and Dave, but I
Yeah,
don't
she's
see Diana.
Not,
Oh, that kind of hand
Oh,
up.
Pam's
Yeah.
got her hand up though. Pam and Dave. Go ahead, Pam.
I just wanted to say real quick here that when my mom was 90, she was slowing down in her bowling, and I got her on the rebound, and she was out there pushing the snow, and she was bowling at 90. We had a great big party for her 90th.
Wow.
So thank you. Dad.
And
I-
Diana, I unmuted Diana.
Doctor.
There she
Hi.
is.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello. My husband's in the hospital right now. He went in for cancer. It spread to the lung. He has tracheostomy. And then that has got infection in him because they've been giving him antibiotics, and he's got kidney failure. And he's been on the dialysis machine. They just took it off. And he's been going to pee, but not as much. So is there anything that I can give him?
Well, you could give him the 90 essential nutrients. You could give him the Ultimate Daily Classic tablets. That'll make the kidney work better, lower his blood pressure, and get blood flowing through blocked arteries. The Ultimate Daily Classic tablets, take 3 twice a day. Okay. And then wouldn't hurt.
Most like, does he have a feeding tube?
Yes.
What? Don't
Yeah,
forget
dump it in.
I-26. Don't forget I-26.
It's on a feeding tube. Yep.
Yeah, I-26 will improve the immune system. Don't forget the colloidal silver. Protect them from bacteria, virus, fungus, and yeast killing them.
PDM's on his skin.
I'm sorry?
Sorry.
Oh,
PDM's minerals on his skin.
Oh, yeah,
the
you can put the
plant-derived.
plant-derived colloidal minerals on his belly, put the colloidal silver in his mouth. If he didn't want to swallow, he could just put it in his mouth and he'll absorb it in a few moments.
Okay. Liquid, right? Is that the dropper?
Yeah, it's a dropper. Put a dropper
Right.
on the tongue on the right side, put a dropper full on the tongue on the left side. I
Yep.
do that at least twice a day. But I'd say about 75% of the time, 3 times a day, but 100% of the time, at least twice a day.
You say put them on the belly too?
Say
The
again?
minerals.
Well, the minerals. You can-
Plant, yeah.
the plant-derived minerals, plant-derived colloidal minerals, they have anywhere from 95 to 105 minerals in them. And of course, this was from the concept of the land flowing with milk and honey. There's those minerals that are coming from the mountains in the water, okay? And there's no medical doctors involved in that. And this is in the old Bible 2,000 years ago. People living to be 200, 300, 400 because they're drinking that glacial milk coming down the mountains. And everybody knew about it because the Bible people were always talking about the land flowing with milk and honey where people lived a long time. And there's no medical doctors where all these people live a long time. There are no medical doctors where people live all this long time. It's the minerals and the plant-derived colloidal minerals, and also the land flowing with milk and honey. Okay.
Okay. Get all this. Is there a phone number I can call? Where do I get all these?
Okay. Somebody give her a phone number.
Sue.
You know what, Diana? If
Yeah.
you put it in the message of your Zoom, if
Uh-huh.
you give me your phone number through that message, we'll get somebody to call you back.
Okay. Thank you.
Have you been taking longevity products?
No, I give him the one package before, but he's in the hospital now. I can't. They're so limited what to give him.
You can do, right. And so my question is, have you been working with someone with
My
longevity?
friend, my friends want to introduce me to doctor.
Okay, so go ahead and talk to your friend
Mhm.
and because she's, if she's a distributor, and go through her to get more information on the whole thing, or bring her back to this Zoom next week.
Okay. Okay.
Is
Thank
that a way
you.
for us to communicate with you?
Yes.
Or do
Thank
you
you
know
so
how to
much.
send messages on this Facebook app you're on? At the bottom where it says chat?
No, but I can
Go to
ask my friend.
docandchar.com.
Okay,
Oh,
Dr. Wallach.
yes, you're right. If you go to docandchar.com,
Mhm.
And email us.
Okay.
email the question, and we'll get a contact for you that way. And Doc is, so docandchar.com, go through that and you'll find the right email.
Okay.
And Doc is waving goodbye because he's got another meeting to go to.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
And we're
Bye.
going on overtime here because we're after 7,
Yep.
so
Yeah.
Yep.
See y'all next
Thank you.
week. Thanks,
Bye-bye.
everybody.
Bye.
see everybody.